What's up, everybody? I am Jen Jones.
And I am VA.
And we are AmpEQ, the voice of Arena.
It is great to be here today because you know what? We're going to tell you how all this kind of came together, how we got started. And I have to tell you, meeting Jen Jones was just a blessing for me because it wasn't one of those things that I thought was going to happen. We were trying to figure out who was going to be the co-host on the show.
Yeah.
And we were actually going to, run interviews and just, maybe even do a contest at one of the local universities, right?
Yeah.
And just see who kind of popped out. And I was at this event and that I wasn't even supposed to be at. And they were getting all set up and I got invited to come back. And when I came back, walking in the event and I heard this voice, this Australian voice. And then I heard this check, 1, 2. And
How'd it go again?
A check, 1, 2.
And I was dressed up. It was an 80s themed party. You got to set the table. Well,
yeah,
I was in like leg warmers, hair oil, and a scrunchie.
It was an 80s themed party, and I was actually in a cowboy hat because I didn't have anything 80s wise, so I might as well go,
So we looked crazy, basically.
Yeah, but I was a crazy guy in the corner, and my producer was there, Chris Smith, and I said, Chris, why are we struggling with this? I think we just found our person, and that's her on that DJ booth because I'm watching her get thrown all of this data to announce at this party with no time to even, she had about a minute to figure it out before the guests started arriving and it was a surprise birthday party.
Yeah, it sure was.
And she was so calm. It was just calm as could be, and she just took it over and had everybody in the palm of her hand doing exactly what she was told to have them do.
Oh, thank you. I think, a big part of that was tequila, actually.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
And that's one thing that we've also found out quickly that we had in common.
We love our tequila.
Yeah.
If you come on this show, you have to at least try tequila. That's something that you haven't tried before. But I will say this: you came over, during your break. I gave you about 2 minutes of a pitch, right?
Yeah.
You knew exactly what this was. Am I right?
Well, God, hilarious. No, you at the time you had said that it was going to be a podcast and it was going to be like a green room vibe, and I'd love for you to kind of be my counterpart and host. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Sounds cool. And then it was crickets.
Nothing.
Yeah. For about 6 months.
Yeah, about 6 months. I ghosted her.
Yeah.
No, I didn't ghost her on
Awesome.
Purpose.
I'm used to it.
Some things started happening. Everything, life, everything kind of changes. And, we were going to launch this thing back in May, June timeframe.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I ran into a buddy of mine that was launching this new music platform called Arena. And we met up and I just said, hey, how about a podcast on Arena? And he goes, why not? And so we talked through things, told him what I wanted to do, told him, I have this co-host that I haven't talked to in 6 months. But I think she's going to say yes.
Think she's still alive?
Is she still alive? So we worked everything out. Then I went back a couple of weeks later and said, hey, I'd love to build this up, but, love to, really take over the entire podcast division of Arena and bring something new to podcasting. Yeah. Something that is completely different. And so this is the Voice of Arena show, which we will be doing, let's see, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be doing daily. You're going to see something every day, but we're also going to be doing some tour events where we'll be out with artists in their environments, and then we're going to do what we call special events. Yep. And those special events will be they'll be live streaming type events where you'll be able to really see behind the scenes. Our goal is to really get intimate with artists and connect them. But there's some interesting things about this platform that we want to share with you in just a second. But you know what? I think it would be important to really give you guys our background. So Jen, tell me, just kind of give me a little bit of your journey, and because you're a DJ.
Yeah, I mean, am.
You're an artist yourself.
Yes. Yep. I'm a DJ, obviously, and I also produce music. And so I kind of see both sides of the coin. The thing that I love most about what I do is obviously, creating the vibe in the club and,
Right.
Making people happy and dance, have a great night. It's all great. But also like producing music, you really get to express yourself as well. And I found a love for remixes at the moment, just taking existing songs and just completely flipping it into a different genre. And that's super fun. So I'm excited for Arena because obviously as a listener, I, pouring back into the artist and earning my listening coins.
You're listening, playing credits.
But also as the artist, and I think this is important, is every stream matters. You're getting a monetary kickback for every stream, and that doesn't exist anywhere else.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And artists really kind of getting cut off at the knees and not really getting we had Richie on not so long ago, and I kept saying he's got over 26 listens on one song. I said 26. 26 million. I'm leaving a big number out of that. 26 million.
Wow.
Over. It might have even been more. But it's like the artist sees nothing of that on other platforms.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
So
I mean, the thing is that it's also a way for the artists to. The one thing that artists do well is they merchandise, right?
Yep.
Merchandise when they're on tours, merchandise any way that they can sell that merch. That's really where it's at, and also as touring is where it's at. So Arena gives the opportunity for the artist to claim their profile, right?
Yes.
And then be able to participate in the whole merchandise.
Yeah,
part
it's
of
a
it.
one-stop shop because I tell you, like I do merchandise. You see my air fresheners, my T-shirts. I want to do socks, and you're using all these random companies, and this just gives you the tools in a one-stop shop. You get, and not to mention, you can use the money that you're earning from your streams back into your merchandise. So it's kind of a win-win from the artist standpoint.
Absolutely. It is a win-win from the artist standpoint, and it's a win-win for really the listeners too, because now
100%.
If artists are getting compensated the way that they should be getting compensated,
Yeah.
think about the new material that they get to produce and how the qualitative nature, because they're not thinking about the stress of how am I going to get paid? How am I going to fund my next tour, my next show?
Yeah.
What are some of the extra things I could be doing at some of these shows? So it's all about engaging and really connecting artists to the fans in a way that has never been done before. And we're going to do the same on the podcasting side.
Yeah.
Because podcasters don't get paid per stream either.
That kind of blew my mind. Like when you really think about that, that's crazy. Because how many times have you listened to a podcast, or how many listeners do they have, So it's kind of crazy that it hasn't been a thing in the past.
So podcasters don't, it's the same thing. They don't get paid per stream. They get paid for sponsorships and advertisers. But but they will also be able to participate in what we call the new music economy, which I'm calling now the new content economy.
Oh,
right?
I like that. Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
That's what I do, right? I'm going to be old, but I got ideas.
Yeah.
Brain still works. Maybe nothing. Anyway, but that is going to be revolutionary for, the industry of content creation, right?
Yeah.
Like we say, every stream matters. And so the listener gets a credit, and then the content creator gets a credit, and the listener, when you sign up for Arena, which, by the way, you can sign up for Arena right now by going to arena.com and get onto what we call some of the pre-subscriber list, but you're not going to be putting in a credit card or anything like that. You're not paying a subscription fee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you get ready to buy something, you're going to be buying merchandise, but there's no subscription. So this is all free to listeners, right? And the catalog features about 90 million songs, and it's growing constantly. And it's going to be a fun time, and we're excited about that. But I want to get a little bit more deep into a little bit more of your background. We'll come back to Arena because I noticed something when we started talking about numbers. You were just right there on it. You went straight there. I heard that you told me I think you were a banker before.
Yeah. So, they always say the day job to fund the dream job, So, yeah, I was for a long time in banking. I was the senior vice president of a bank. I ran the operations and compliance, which you know a little bit about it, compliance thing or two. So yeah, it was like really, two alter egos kind of myself. But DJing, I did it for so long. I've been DJing since 2011, like actual gigging, and it took off quickly, and it is lucrative. And after a while, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to be doing both. I think I was just kind of miserable at the end of the day. It wasn't like fulfilling, but I had a skill set that I can always go back to. But I realized in that moment what I was being asked of to do at that corporation. And it was like, if I could do that for somebody else and they're coming to me to ask me to do this for them, then why don't I take that skill set and apply it to myself, my own business, because DJing is a business. And and I haven't looked back since I did that. That was 2.5 years ago.
And that's incredible. That's good for me because you know what? It's like I didn't even know that was that's pretty fresh. And and
kept it two lives very separate.
You have to keep them separate. That's
and it was funny because nobody at the bank knew eventually they found out.
Right.
And sometimes, you'd see like a client or something walking in, like, wait a second, like you're like, oh.
Don't bring that up.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. Compliance is where I came out of when I was a young guy. I sold law books, believe it or not, door to door selling law books, right?
How boring.
And how boring is right. But see, what I got out of that was when law went to technology, right?
Yeah.
And we started digitizing it and all those sorts of things. The model that I created in the sales organization to really kind of get our names and marketing and ideas out there and kind of changing the concept was modeled in one of the divisions that I ran, which was in San Jose, California, right? And I'm going to make this real short because it transitions into even how we got here. So I came up with this idea because law is, boring as heck. Came up with this idea, said, hey, you know what? We're going to sell law, but we're going to get a stage. We're going to go in a hotel. We're going to have stage. We're going to have lights. And we're going to, I'm going to set up this entire, digital office, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to, allow people to talk about, okay, I'm searching for this law. And we'll do the searches live and it'll pop up on the screen and they'll see how fast it is and that type of thing.
Oh.
Ask me how many times that worked out well the first. It was one of those things, you got to try it. But what it
sounds great.
It was fun as heck. I remember the first one, we booked this hotel in Sacramento, California, right? I will never forget this. And we only thought that X number of people were showing up.
Yeah.
We had to do 2 events that day.
Wow.
Because it was attorneys, accountants, everybody were lining up to try to see this new thing that was going to happen, right? And I'm the speaker.
And it was very manual back then, so that you're digitalizing something. They're like, sign me up.
Oh yeah. So they didn't. We were the first ones to have CD data on CD-ROM, right?
Damn, you're that old.
Yeah. I'm that old. Yeah.
Just
Don't remind me. Anyway, so we had these 1-speed Sony Drive players, right? Sony made for us, and you plug them in with something called a SCSI.
Yeah.
A SCSI drive, right?
Okay.
And you plug those things in and spun, and then eventually, the internet came out and all those things. But that's how we sold it, by going on tour, and that's what I do, is tour around.
The rock stars of law.
Of compliance.
Oh, compliance.
Yeah, we're
law.
selling compliance, but why can't it be sexy, right? So, and then so I started that in Kansas City, went to San Jose, then up to Canada, and then back to the U.S. And our international divisions were all over, but the sales divisions, we all modeled everything after that. So everybody had to learn how to do this show, worldwide show about selling. And that's decided when I left, I'd be a motivational speaker.
I mean, I can see how that kind of evolved into it.
I might as well be a motivational speaker, and I did. And then, of course, Music is my life. I've been playing all my life, and I would just do some crazy things with music. And so when I decided to speak,
Yeah.
I came up with this idea called boom whackers.
As you do.
And yeah, and I got people. I instructed my audiences to learn how to play their melody, harmony, and rhythm using
Yeah.
these tonal tubes. That thing went worldwide, and about 15 years on the road. Countries all over the place. I mean, all over the place.
Yeah.
Sometimes nobody even spoke English, and they had the headphones on, and you're talking to an Asian audience or whatever audience, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So they're translating in real
Oh, yeah,
time.
they could translate in real time.
What do you mean by the melody, the harmony,
Well,
and the rhythm? What
I
was
read
that?
a book, which I probably need to now bring it back out. It's melody. Melody and music. You know what that is, right?
Yes, of course.
That's kind of what we all that kind of that hook thing, right? So what I did was it transposed it into melody is kind of your vision, right? Harmony is your team, and rhythm is your bass. Simple
Okay.
format, right?
Yeah.
Now I could take that into complex mode, but ultimately that was what I would teach. So I would create
Yeah.
melody to talk about vision. Your
Okay.
vision as a company, your vision as an individual, right? And then I would take that to talk about the teams, with harmony, right?
Yeah.
And then I would make them do chord progressions with these tubes.
Now these are attorneys and accountants.
No, these are everybody. This was
I'm like, how did that go?
this was the public tour type thing, and so this could be anybody. It could be a university. It could be anybody.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a
But
pretty creative way to.
Oh yeah, and people would get into it.
Yeah, it's
and then
fun.
I got into it because the rhythm thing was just, it was crazy. I remember doing a show, and I was doing a show in Miami. I think it was Miami, and they were so jacked up.
Yeah.
The show ended, and I had to be in Seattle, so I had to leave.
Yeah.
I'm at the airport. They're still beating these things to the beat. It was just like
You gotta be careful how you phrase that.
It's true.
I'm like, okay.
But it was so much fun in being able to bring about another tool for engagement, which of course brought us to this point where we're sitting here talking about a podcast.
Right.
And I'm excited that we both have this music background, and you're going to teach me how to DJ.
I can't wait for that.
That happens, that'll be ecstasy for me. That'll be better than
Ecstasy's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, it's hard enough dealing with you as you are, let alone Ecstasy Rob, Ecstasy BA.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So tell me more though. I just want to kind of wrap this up a little bit. Tell me more about why are you excited about this, and what do you see happening as we continue this journey?
I think the most exciting thing for me is we're creating this space that doesn't exist. We are changing the way music is now streamed and what that means for the user and the artist. So being a part of something that's innovative like this and brand new and disrupting the current state of where music is, it excites me to be a part of that because of my background in DJing and music. So that's probably the most exciting part, to watch that come
Full circle.
And what I hope out of it, was that the second part of the question?
Yes.
You're asking too much. God.
One question at a time, Robert. Follow the script. So, but yes, what do you hope out of this? I mean, what do you see as a benefit to? Let's just talk about the artists. We've talked about the engagement piece, but what do you hope artists will be able to take away from this?
I like the fact, and this is what I'm seeing a lot of lately with the people that we're interviewing, we're all somehow connected. And it's crazy because everyone's connected somehow, some way with music. And what it means to connect with all these different people, and somehow we're all related to music somehow, some way, and then create other leverages in our careers, other businesses. Like we had a rapper and a book publisher meet. And there's two completely different people that you would never in a million years even sit next to each other. And somehow they're like, oh my God, we need to work together. And it was the perfect marriage, you know? And I love seeing that. And I love the access that we're giving these artists on the platform to that as well.
Right.
And honestly, vice versa. Brands, companies, corporations want those influential people.
Right.
Who better than the artists that everybody loves and listens to? So it's kind of creating this space where, especially for independent artists that don't have that power behind that corporation power, or those types of people that they even have access to,
Right.
leverage. And I love seeing that. And obviously, like, we're all benefiting from who we're interviewing as well, because we're learning from them, we're getting access to them. And you're
Right.
like, you know what? You should work with somebody that I would never have met before, but I interviewed them 3 weeks ago on the pod. Now I know them, I'm their best friend because I know everything intimate about them because I asked all that.
Yeah, you
But
did.
I love seeing that, and I love being a part of that. And I love the leverage that Arena's giving and AmpEQ and amplifying their careers.
Definitely going to amplify their careers, and I think the same applies to content creators and the podcasters. The same way that podcasters create content, and being able to even have access or get to meet and understand what artists do. I could see some cross collaboration going on
100%.
every which way but loose.
It just keeps snowballing. Like every day we wake up and it's like, oh, you know what? We could do this.
Well, it's funny, we were talking to, so we have already started interviewing guests. We have a lineup that's
Man, crazy. So exciting.
But one thing that did happen, the one thing that points out about Richie, right?
Yeah.
When he said, you asked a question, who would you like to collaborate with on a song?
Oh, yeah.
Remember what he said?
Yeah, I did. I think he said Adele, didn't he?
He said
Yeah.
Adele.
But like, it might work. It might
work.
freaking work.
Well, I mean, Snoop and who?
Martha Stewart,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
besties.
They're besties.
Yeah.
I can see something like it's
It's
amazing.
a duo that you never knew you needed, right?
Exactly.
But I love that we're putting those, we can do that for them.
Right. Absolutely. So that's what the fun thing that I see
Yeah.
out of all this, and
Same.
and also being able to have a platform to help promote, like you say, the
Yeah.
new artists, the independent artists. We will be actually looking at our entire lineup, engaging some of the artists that are on Arena, but we're always going to be promoting the entire Arena platform,
Yeah.
other podcasts. So AmpEQ is a place you will go to get your news about Arena, about all the podcast shows that are out there,
Yeah.
what's happening. We have some more surprises coming in the area of content that's going to change some things, so we're really excited about that.
Yes.
So I think that should wrap it up. What do you think?
I think so. I think it's time for a drink.
I think it's time for a drink. Thank you for listening to AmpEQ. I'm VA.
And I am Jen Jones, and we are the voice of Arena.